Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tapchin Lat, and yeah, in this video I'm going to be telling you guys a lot more about MDCN. I've decided to dedicate 3 of my uploads to MDCN, so if you're interested, definitely keep watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and yeah, let's get right into the video. So this is going to be my last upload about MDCN, the very last. So yeah, in this video I'm going to be telling you guys everything that is going to happen from morning till evening on the days of your examination. Now remember that MDCN examination is divided into 2 categories, or you do it in like 2 days. Okay, the first day is your CBT, that's your computer based test, and the second day or the last day is going to be your OSCE. That's, I don't know the full meaning of OSCE, guys. Please, if you know the full meaning of OSCE, drop it in the comment section below. Currently, OSCE, Operation Science. Let me Google it. So OSCE means objective structured clinical examination. Oh wow, okay. So I'm going to be telling you guys things that are going to be happening in these 2 days. Okay, so definitely keep watching. And of course, as usual, I'm going to be using myself as an example, telling you guys what happened on my own day. It may be different on your own day, it may not, but yeah, this is what really happened on my own day. So yeah, so in the morning of my CBT, remember that I've traveled to Ibadan like 3 days prior to my examination date. So in the morning of my CBT, that's computer based test, I wake up, I dress up. They told us to be there around 8 a.m. but then they will divide you into batches depending on how many you guys are that have registered for the examination. During our time we're like 1,000, more than 1,000 though. So I think we're divided into 3 sessions or 3 batches. Yes. I was in the second batch. I didn't start early, I didn't start later. I was in the second batch. That means I was in the middle. I think we started our examination around like 9 or 10. No, we started around 10, 11. Yes, that was our examination time. So the first day, as I said, which is a computer based test, I go there, I wake up very early, get dressed. They said we should dress casually, so on this day you're not expected to look formal. Do you understand? It's just you and your computer, you're not facing anybody and anything, but then wear whatever it is you're comfortable with. Okay, if you're comfortable with formal, fine. If you're comfortable with casual, excellent. Just look good, smart and comfortable. If you think the weather is a bit hot, I think when we wrote though, so you would like to wear a light shirt. If you get stuffy in your wig easily, I don't think a wig is a good idea. Just pack your hair and go if you have good hair. If you braid, fine. I mean, like, just try and be as comfortable as ever. If your jeans will be too tight, just take it off. You don't want anything obstructing your examination. Okay, yeah. So I get dressed in the morning, you get up. All you need for that day is like a pen. I don't even think you enter with a pen because it's just your computer, but all you need for that day is your pen. Now remember to eat well. Okay, that's one thing I'll advise you to do. Eat well in the morning. I don't mean to eat swallow, but if you're comfortable with swallow, that's fine. So yeah, as soon as you enter, log in your details, your exam has started. You're going to see that your questions will start coming up, and there'll be 2 sections basically. So for your CBT test, I'm sure by now you would have known that there is picture test and there is MCQ. That's the complete MCQ. Okay, multiple choice questions. So your picture test are 50 questions, and your multiple choice, the rest of the questions are going to be 250 questions. That's 300 questions in 180 minutes. So that leaves you with 20 seconds per question. So it means you have to be really, really fast in answering your questions. It is advisable to actually start with your picture test, okay, because that one carries heavier marks, it carries more marks. I think per question in the picture test is, each question carries 1 point in picture test. That's a total of 50 points. If you're able to get 50 out of 300, you're good to go. I mean, you're sure to get at least 30 out of the rest to make your point 70, I believe. Okay, yeah. But the rest, so you cannot divide 50 points to the remaining 250 questions. That is why it's advisable to start with your picture test. And then secondly, when you start answering a question, the moment you see it and you have no idea, move to the next one. there are so many others that are down there that from the look of it, you know the answer and you click and you'll be gone, honestly. Okay? So basically, don't waste your time trying to think and rack your brain concerning a question. The moment you see the question and you can't answer it, move to the next one. Also, there are some questions that are silly, shittily long. Okay, when you see that question, just move to the next one. It will just waste your time. Even though those long questions are actually easier, because in the question you find almost everything you need and all you need to do is to click the answer. So that's one thing I've noticed. Okay, most of my long questions had the answer, like they were the easiest for me. It's just that it took a longer time to read and understand the question and then you tick your answer. Do you understand? So as soon as I was done with the picture test, I went for my remaining 250 questions, and that one, honestly guys, I answered and I left. Let me not say much about that. I answered and I left. So at the end of my examination, I think it was advisable that you submit your question. It is advisable that you click submit at least, guys, the least should be 5 minutes before the finish time. Now take note of this. The timer on your screen is sometimes different from the general switch. Okay, it's most times different from the general switch, because most people that came in later, their time was still showing them that in their computer they still saw that they had more time. Do you understand? But then it was almost time to finish. Do you understand? So please take note of what the examiners are saying. If they are saying submit, it's almost time, 10 minutes more, listen to their time. Even if your computer is telling you 30 minutes more, okay, that's because, as I said, there's a general switch. So you don't want that switch to go off before you click submit. Okay, there are different theories to this. Okay, many people say that even if you don't submit at that time, your exam or your answers will still be submitted. Please don't bank on that. Just be safe. Better safe than sorry. You don't want to come out, God forbid, and you're not able to make it and you're there saying, oh, it's because I didn't submit. Like, you don't want to have any doubt. Okay, so please just be obedient, follow your time. Don't allow it to be like 1 minute or 30 seconds before you click submit, because the server will be crowded. Imagine about 1,000 people trying to submit almost at the same time. You know, go walk that. Anyway, so it was even advisable at my tutorial center. They told us to click submit at least 20 minutes or 15 minutes before time, and then sit down and be looking. Anyway, I personally clicked submit at 5 minutes before time, and 5 minutes later the general switch went off and the systems were turned off, basically. So yeah, after the examination my head was pounding. If you can take prophylactic ibuprofen, great. Please take it, okay? Because after the examination my head was pounding. I was having serious headache. I was tired. I was thinking, did I pass? Did I not pass? Now this is your first examination. You still have another one the next day. I advise that you don't dwell on this one that you probably didn't make it. Please don't dwell on it. Just go home. I know it's very, very hard, man. Personally, that's not what I did. I kept lamenting. I kept talking to myself. I was really angry at myself that day. I was angry at the exam. I was in a very bad mood. I just wanted to go home. Another reason why I told you guys to come with a taxi or book a taxi man that will come and pick you immediately after your examination is because after the exam there will actually not be space. I mean, like, almost all the taxis will be taken. Bolt works there. You can have taxis through Bolt, but then that one too, it can be easily crowded. So I remember that day we had to walk to the junction. We had to walk a certain distance before we were even able to get keke. Keke will be there too, but I mean, just don't worry, when you go you'll see. My advice is that you get a taxi driver that will come and drop you and come and pick only you. Sometimes the drivers may be intimidated, they may be tempted because some other people will offer higher money, like a larger amount of money to the person, and then he may be tempted to just take the people and leave you. Sorry if that's your case, but it's really advised that you have someone that is there waiting for you. You know, this when you finish your exam, you'll be sad, you may be depressed, some of you may be crying. So this is not the time to now start looking for taxi, to be frustrated and be thinking of how to go home. Okay, so if possible, get a taxi that will wait for you and then take you home. I didn't do that and I regretted it. Anyway, we took a long walk, then we were able to get a keke. Keke took us to a restaurant, we bought food and we went home and we ate. Many people say that you should not study before the day of your OSCE. Now, this is objective, I would say, because you probably would have forgotten a lot of things. So if you come back in the evening, I think what you should do is shower, eat, shower, rest if possible. If you can wake up and study, fine. If you can't wake up and study, fine. But I feel like that is the day to study and master what you have been taught. At least that was the advice that was given to me at my tutorial center. When you come back home, just brush through your book. And trust me, brushing through your book will not take you 3 hours. It won't even take you up to that. You just brush through it and you sleep and rest. Because that OSCE day, let's talk about it. So that day we're told to be at our centers at 7 a.m. latest, or is it 8 a.m.? Anyway, I woke up quite early. Another thing you should try and do is try and have something to eat that early morning. Please have something to eat. We were told to be there by 8 a.m. I'll be 7 a.m. But then I started my examination. I entered for my exam at 12 or 2 p.m. Yeah. So, and the whole time, instead of them to prepare the hall, to arrange the hall the night before they didn't, guys, they arranged the hall there while we were there. So imagine how many hours they took trying to arrange. The stimulators too came that day. They were trying to arrange and set up the place. I mean, it was a bit frustrating anyways, but there's something I forgot to say, that there will be refreshments after both examinations. That's after the CBT and after your OSCE. Okay, so after your CBT there will be snacks. There was digestive biscuits and drink. Was it drink or water? Anyway, there was something to eat afterwards. If you're a fan of that, you can have as much as you want. The next day, which was the OSCE day, we woke up, we got dressed. Now it's advisable that for this OSCE you dress as decent as you can. I mean, this is a country that so many people judge people based on their appearance. Let's be honest, and that's the honest truth. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do to change that. Okay, so the best thing to do, the advice I'll give each and every one of you is that you dress corporate, dress smart. Make sure you're not exposing any part of your body. For ladies, be smart, decent. As I said earlier in my other video, if you're making braids, make sure you pack it very well, because it will obstruct you. If you're making a wig, bone straight, if you're going to lay a wig, please make sure you tie it neatly and keep it in place. If you are confident in makeup, please glam up and look good. If you're not confident, please just go the way you are. It will not increase or reduce your mark. Okay, so just look smart, beautiful, and have your stuff at spinal cord level. That is when it will come to play. That is the day that you're going to be the most nervous in your life, I guess. Baby, I don't know. That day you'll be very nervous. You'll be stressed mentally, whether you like it or not. So try as much as possible to be calm. Memorize everything you've learned in your head, because anything can set you off balance. Okay, so we got there in the morning. We were arranged according to numbers as usual. They gave us our cards, our exam cards, and yeah, it was now time to start calling people into the hall. But now, ideally, they were supposed to call from 1 to 100, for example. I'll be 1 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 50 to... But during our time, okay, they didn't do it that way. So they called, I think, 1 to 5, then I'll be 1 to 10, then 20 to 30, then 50 to 60, something like that. Do you understand my point? Such that the first batch comprised of number 500 and something to 1000. So they picked 10 and gave spaces in between, and that was how we entered the examination throughout the day. So the fact that you're the last doesn't mean you'll be the last to enter, and the fact that you're number 1 on the list doesn't really mean that you'll be the first person to enter the examination hall. So that's what happened basically. They started calling people in, and after some time, it was my own turn to go inside. Now, for your OSCE also, if you can get a taxi driver that can be waiting for you, if you can get family that will be waiting for you outside, that will be excellent, because that day, I don't think you want to leave your phone out at home. Trust me, you want it with you, because there are things that you forget and you want to Google quickly. There are things that you forget and it's in your book. You don't want to be flipping. You just want to check it immediately. So I advise that you go with your phone that day. Plus, again, somebody may be trying to contact you and then he needs your contact, or people want to call and pray for you. Okay, so many reasons to take your phone that day. If you don't have anybody to wait for you, I think you should have a bag that's where your phone will be inside. Go hard for a person to steal it. Do you understand? The bag that you can put your phone and your gadgets inside, and then you keep. During our time, the attendants there that day, they offered to look after our bags and luggages for at a price of 500 naira each. Okay, so you give them 500 naira and you drop your bag. When you come back, you take it. Now, when you enter the hall and come out, you're not going to go and mix with people that have not written the examination. So there were two large canopies, okay, one on the other side, one on the other side. So you come in, write your examination. After that, you come in through another exit and you sit outside together with those that have written also. That's to avoid mixture, people mixing together, and to avoid people that have not written hear or listen to anything. Okay, that's to avoid choke spreading around basically. Anyway, so when you enter the examination, your CBT, as I said, your OSCE, as I said, it's going to be 1 hour long, and that is going to be the shortest 60 minutes of your life, trust me. So when you enter, basically you'll be directed to your mini hall. For mine, it was a large hall, and the large hall was sectioned into 10 different stations. So there were about 100 or something people in that hall that day. That is why they say when we practice. Now, it was then that I understood the reason why they said when you're practicing, speak loud, or in your examination, speak loud, because there'll be so many other people around you that will be talking, and if you're really not talking loud, they won't hear you. To make things worse, during our time we needed to wear masks. So imagine talking through your mask. Some people, I see some people these days when they are talking and they don't want to talk loud, you know, when you say you can't hear them, they will remove their mask. You're supposed to talk with your mask and still be loud and audible, because what the examiner didn't hear, he won't tick. Do you understand? So he ticks only, he marks you based on what he has heard you say. So you have to be loud and clear during this examination. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about some equipments that you need for this examination before we go into the setting and everything proper. I'm sure by now you would have heard that you need a lot of equipment. You need your stethoscope, you need your SFIG, you need your neurological hammer, you need your tuning fork, you need your pen touch, tape measure, and so on and so forth. Now, you actually need a few of those things, and I'm going to be listing them according to their preference, okay? According to the scale of preference, that's the most important to the least important, in my own opinion, okay? Yeah. So, I remember when they told us that we needed some gadgets, I asked the guy, there was a guy that came to our tutorial center. He brought the equipment, and after asking for the prices, they were almost about 30-something thousand. Is it 40? More than 40,000 naira, yeah, to get everything in place. I was like, okay, that's apart from so much money we've spent. Anywho, I decided to buy a few, and after getting to the examination hall and after writing my examination, I just realized that most of those things were not really necessary. Okay, the first thing that I think you should come with as an exam candidate is your wristwatch. Please have your wristwatch on your hand, especially the wristwatch that has the second hand, like the second hand. Do you understand? You will need your wristwatch for so many things, so please, especially your physical examination, so your wristwatch should be there. That's one of the things I think is very important, and is the cheapest, and it is very important to have your watch. Secondly, the most important thing is your word coat. That is also an equipment or an instrument basically, so make sure you have your word coat ironed, and yeah, you're good to go. The next thing that I think is very important for your examination is going to be your stethoscope. Your stethoscope is important because you will need it for one of your physical examinations, okay? Also, I feel like for stethoscope, it won't be that bulky to carry. You can always hang it on your neck and you're good to go. It's not going to obstruct you in any way, shape, or form, okay? Alright. The next thing that I also feel like is going to be important that you take with you is your tape measure. For your physical examination, it's going to be important. Personally, we needed our tape measure for our physical examination. We did abdominal exam, and that was necessary for us. The next thing I think that is very important. Now, the rest of the things I'm going to be mentioning, I won't say they are very important, but I feel like if you can take them because they are not bulky. Now, the next thing is going to be the pen touch. A pen touch is just like a pen. I mean, it's very tiny. It can enter your pocket, the pocket of your lab coat, or even your trouser pockets. Like, it's not a big deal. Do you understand? You can go in with it, and it's not going to harm you. It's not going to obstruct your examination in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So you can get your pen touch. The next thing is your tuning fork. If you think it's necessary, please take it. But I don't think that's necessary because we didn't use it. And the honest truth is that you will not know what you need or what you use. Okay? So your tuning fork, you can take it. And the next thing that you can take, I think, is going to be your neurological hammer. Now that one can obstruct you a lot. Personally, I feel like you shouldn't carry anything I'm going to mention from now henceforth, but you can take it if you are comfortable holding it. Your neurological hammer, your sphygmomanometer, and am I done? Yeah, I think I'm done for that. For the examination date, yeah, your neurological hammer and your sphig. Yes, that is because these things are bulky, I think, in a way. If not, if your workload has a big pocket, you can actually put your neurological hammer inside. If it doesn't have, I don't know, the pin or the equipment in general can obstruct you in a lot of ways. So yeah, the other one is your sphig. Honestly, I don't think you must take your sphig. Now, I believe that our seniors, that are our senior colleagues, that's those that first wrote this examination, I don't think they went with a lot of this equipment. And most times when you go, they'll tell you to drop everything outside. They don't want to see you holding anything in your hand. So why take it when you even drop it outside? And I want to believe that it's not the instruments that will make you pass your examination. I want to believe that there are people that have entered this examination without an equipment and they still pass the examination. So I don't want to believe that it's the equipment that you have that will pass or fail you. Okay, don't rely on them. Don't waste your time trying to think or thinking that that's what's going to make you pass. No, what to make you pass is your stuff and how quick, efficient, and how quick, adequate, and accurate you are able to deliver your information on that day. Okay, so this is just a little about the equipment and instruments that you need for your examination. Don't depend on them. If you can take them in, take them in. If you can't take them in, it's not the end of the world. I mean, even if you're supposed to elicit a reflex and you need your hammer, if you don't have your hammer, what do? You hold the person's muscles, you hit it like this. It will be obvious that that is what you're trying to do. In fact, the examiner will be very impressed with you. Okay, so another thing is your sphig. If you come in and you're about to check for your blood pressure, the only thing you should do is permit me to check my patient's blood pressure. Some examiners will even tell you pass. Do you understand? Like, you must not open the equipment, put it. Checking of blood pressure alone can take you about 3 minutes. So why would that be a necessity? I don't think it's necessary. Trust me, there are some people that have gone into the examination with their equipment and still didn't use it because they forgot, but they had it. I am an example. So we went for abdominal examination. I was supposed to auscultate for bowel movements, but I forgot. And I had the stethoscope on me. So you guys, please don't waste your time depending on these equipments. They're not all to fail or pass you. They're just there to assist you and to make you look more professional in your examination. So as you enter, you'll be assigned to your position. Now there's something that you'll be tempted to do. I'm sure by now, from all your mocks that you've written, you have an idea of how the examination will be. So when you enter initially, you stand at a station. In case you rush to a station because you want to start with that one, congrats, so that's not what you're starting with. So when you go, you stand first of all at a station, all of you. Then they will do a trial. They will do a movement trial in a way. So they would explain to you how your movements would be, whether you move clockwise or anti-clockwise. Then they will make you stand in stations, and you guys will move like 3 stations away from where you initially were standing. Do you understand? Basically, that's what will happen. So, in case you are standing here, just see the 3rd station or the 4th station and know that that's what you're starting with. So, yeah, that's what will happen. After that will take them like 3 or 5 minutes trying to adjust you in your positions. Next, you start your examination. They'll give you your rules and regulations based on your examination, and the dynamics may change, I'm not sure, but after your rules and regulation, the ideal thing is you start with your first station. You have 5 minutes for each station, and after that, you move to the next station. Okay, that's basically it. So for mine, let me give you a brief highlight. Mine, there was counseling, clerking, level of prevention for coronavirus, and there was physical examinations. At the point of your physical examination, please, if you forget some important things, don't forget to tell your examiner, to plead with your examiner to permit you to do some things. If you forget to do a DRE is very important. That's a digital rectal examination. Just tell the man, please permit me to do a digital rectal examination. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Do you understand? Make sure you say the thing. The man will not mark you down for saying it at the wrong time. Some people are compassionate and they'll just allow you, give you some marks for that. But some will be so angry and I don't know, just pressure that you get a good examiner, so that even when you forget to say some things, when you say it at the time, I mean that you are probably not supposed to say it, he will still mark you. Me, I squat down, I almost knelt down begging the man to please permit me to perform a digital rectal examination, and I left. I don't know what happened, but I did that anyway. And yeah, for your instruments, you get some stations that they will tell you to open an envelope, see an instrument, and then return it back. Please read the questions and the instructions carefully. Some examiners may not be compassionate, they may not be nice, some will be very mean, because the moment you start disobeying commands, it means that you didn't read your instruction, and it means that you automatically failed, basically. So please read your instructions very well. And if possible, glance at the questions a little, so that when you open your equipment and you're holding it in your hand, you know what to look out for. Do you understand? It makes life easier, makes your exam easier. After your 10 stations, you walk out and you wait until your day is over, and then you're allowed to go home. When you go home, please just sit down and pray to God and sleep. When I got home, I prayed, I lamented, called people I needed to call, and it was the next day. For us, our results came out the next day, so we didn't have much time to be sad, to worry, to think, and all of that. So thankfully it came out the next day, and to the glory of God, it was successful. This is going to be my last video, hopefully, on MDCN. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Please, if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions at all for me, hit me on my Instagram, hit me up on my Instagram, on the comment section of this video. And yeah, for those of you that have my contacts, you can go ahead and contact me, send me a message. I'll be willing to answer. Okay, yeah. And as I said in my earlier videos, before I wrote, I went ahead to look for people's videos, and I watched before my own examination. So I feel like this video will be helpful for you. So yeah, any question at all, please don't forget to write in the comment section below. Also, if you have something to say that I've not said, please don't forget to write it also in the comment section below. And yeah, God bless you, success in your examination, and I wish you the very best.